straight to the point, congratulations on Wolf Pack. It has done extremely well. I've watched it with my sister and we're both huge fans. What was that like for you building up to that release and now getting to hear people's reaction to it?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing how how people will have been digging it. I guess. I mean, at least that's what I've been hearing. I mean, after stuff like that and Twitter and social media, yeah, it's amazing to hear. And it's been crazy to see the response because yeah, like when you shoot at the show, you're like everyone's super excited on cloud nine, but there is that like mystery of how are people going to respond? Like you never really know until like it's out because like so many things can go south, like or go north, and I guess be really good, like in the editing room or yeah, like how it's released, marketed, all that stuff. So to see the execution and how well it was all kind of just you know executed, I guess I'm gonna double up there. It's just good. It's just good. It's good to see.
Yeah. I mean, obviously this show is by Jeff Davies, who did Teen Wolf. I'm wondering, were you a fan of him and his work before you booked this role, or was it kind of it just came?
It kind of just came. I'm gonna be 100% honest because I love Jeff now. He's like we're actually like pretty close. I didn't even hear like I didn't even know who he was before I had
Okay.
auditioned for the show. I knew what Teen Wolf is, obviously.
Yeah.
I've been completely sleeping under a rock, but I didn't know. Like I kind of got up to speed really quick, like who Jeff Davis is and how legit this dude is. But yeah, he's a genius, and yeah, I had never seen Teen Wolf, so I didn't really know too much about him, but that was kind of the I just get introduced and then he's such a great storyteller that like within the first like 20 minutes of knowing him, at least I mean I had kind of a unique situation where like I was getting cast and like to play one of his characters, but he just immediately will hook you in and be like, yo, this is this like the whole Baron process was just incredible. He's just got a lot of stuff cooking. Especially
Yeah.
when season two happens. There's a lot of stuff that has been set up and it's gonna just yeah, he's got some cool people think he's playing checkers, but he's really playing chess. So, you
Oh
know,
yeah, 100%. And I was gonna say, your character Baron, when you first meet him, he's very quiet, but he's obviously, as you learn, a very complex character. I'm wondering, what was that like for you stepping into this, and how did you bring him to life as a character?
I mean, it was just crazy. It was an amazing opportunity that I'm super grateful for. It was kind of exactly what I was looking for, especially hopping off the couple things that I did beforehand. Uh, yeah, it's just to play a character with that much like complexity and that much like of a roller coaster of an arc in such a small amount of time too, and I love how it kind of Baron was kind of introduced, with it's in episode 5 and 6, and in 7 you get the nightmare sequence, then in 8 you get the dream sequence, and or not the dream sequence, but you get the whole core 4, and then yeah, it's just yeah, it was something right up my alley. I'm obviously like a pretty big nerd, so it definitely gave me a lot of like anime comic booky vibes, his character just as a whole. So being inspired by other media like that and other just being like in a dark room reading the scripts, yeah, it's pretty. It definitely helped step into the role too, especially when it was so dark. I've been like itching to play something just like that. So like I said, it was kind of like a beautiful situation where something came along exactly what I was looking for, and it's crazy because in Hollywood you don't actually get to like pick when you want to do things. So like that's why
Yeah.
I'm crazy grateful because it just happened. In a collaborator like Jeff who was like so uh like just so collaborative and so like just such a brilliant storyteller and would get me just had such a vision. There's definitely a crazy experience between like working with a director who like has like a wishy-washy vision versus like somebody who has like a dead on like
Oh
I
yeah.
know. And the cool thing about it is like when we're shooting episode 8, we would sometimes get off with like time to spare in the night. We would get off early because when Jeff knew what scene he got, like an 8, because when the creator is directing, when he knew what scene, we just move on. So like we'd be like we'd be like 2 takes in, and he's like, nope, I got it done. Because he's exactly the scene. So like once he sees it, it's just done. It's not the director's like, I gotta get like 15 different versions, in the editing room. Like, no, he's like, boom, that's it, let's go. So yeah, when you're working with somebody like that, it's just like magic. Honestly, it's just super inspiring too. That's kind of like the whole thesis statement on my experience of Wolfpack is just being a sponge and trying to learn from all these vets. Sarah Michelle, Rodrigo, and Jeff Davis. They were also so kind enough to be willing to kind of bestow upon us that knowledge as well too. So very cool situation and very much a real pack in real life, as the show kind of insinuates.
Yeah, and I've talked to a few of your co-stars like Tyler and Bella, and they've all said the same thing that everybody's very close. But I'm wondering,
Yeah.
do you personally have a favorite moment or memory from your time on this set?
Oh my gosh. Man, there's so many amazing memories. Like I think back to like my time in Atlanta and just like reminisce so hard. I want to be back so bad. And a lot of amazing memories happened after, like we said, we're all like very close. So like we went home and then we all like just kept hanging out. But in Atlanta, favorite memory that I won't get in trouble for saying.
I mean,
Uh
did a lot of bad things happen?
I mean, but like, what is bad? Like, define bad. Like, that could
That's
be anybody's
true.
definition. Like, what is bad? Like, did bad things happen? Like, I don't know. Like bad. Like,
I mean, as long as you're all alive,
you
it
put
works.
like all I have to say is like you put like 7 or 8 20-year-olds together, in in Atlanta, and yeah, you just get it's like a an interesting brew. It's kind of like cooking something. You're like, we'll add a tea and another one, throw another one in. Like wow, that makes an interesting mix, but a beautiful mix. Very, very amazing. But yeah, if I could pick a specific memory, probably so at there was this hotel that Rio, Rainer, Zach, and I were all staying at, and for a majority of the trip, and then sometimes we got broken up, we were scattered around, but like those nights where we were all, it's actually how I met Zach Nelson and Rainer Don, two other kids, the guy who plays Cyrus and the guy who plays Cody. Is I landed in Atlanta, went straight to the gym, and then it walks in two like dudes who I just like knew they were in Wolf. I literally was like, you guys got to be in Wolfpack, right? Like, what other like 20, 19-year-old dudes who like jet, like it's just like, and they're like, oh yeah, we're Wolf, and we're that's just like that was an amazing experience too, and just nights like those are just super fun, and hanging out outside the hotel with like Rio Mangini. It was just amazing times, and with the cat, everything's amazing. I just out there is just I don't know, it's just amazing. It was always a good time, but it's impossible to pick one. I keep thinking of new ones that I'm like, well, that but yeah, they're all great.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you mentioned how you want a possible season two to happen, and I'm
Oh
sure your co-stars are on the same page, but what do
yeah.
you hope to see from your character in a possible season two without getting in trouble with Jeff?
Yeah, what do I hope to see? I guess in like a short form answer, like is like an emotional roller coaster because like what Baron just did and experienced and what he's experiencing, like obviously like he's fighting with he can't control this thing, this version of himself. He kind of blacks out, does all these, you know, acts in this certain way. But I think what I'm referring to too is like how he's just getting integrated into society for the first time. Like for the first time like ever, and how like he has like his pet, like it's weird because he kind of like runs the pack as the wolf, but then they're gonna kind of I think maybe run the pack like as the humans, kind of like get him. Honestly, this is all just speculation, hearsay, but I guess I feel like he just has a lot of stuff he's gonna have to work through, like coming to terms, like truly like I guess that's when we'll see if he's like a psychopath or not, because seeing how he like comes to terms with like what he has done or whoever has done, because there's still stuff that I don't even totally know too. There's a lot of like loose ends that I know Jeff knows the answer to. We just don't know. He likes to keep everyone guessing. It's like why when we were shooting the show, we'd be shooting the episode and then he'd be writing it. And then we'd be getting the episode as like literally a few days before we're about to shoot the new episode to just keep us all on our toes, super excited, super amped. It's a pretty brilliant way of going about things. It also is like the biggest ballsy way of going about it. 'Cause it's like, you know what? For you guys to have all of that, right? That quick on-site inspiration and to keep you on your toes, you have to basically do that. Like write an amazing quality story like in real time as they're shooting with that pressure. And that's where it comes in, where like you need a guy like Jeff Davis. Like I don't think anybody else could have done a job that difficult. Without being like an absolute seasoned vet like him. Like I just like, but anyways, that's yeah. I
I
don't even
mean,
know what the original question was there. I just kind of got off. Anyways.
it's all good. My last question for you. I know this release is obviously exciting, but do you have any future projects that you can hint at or talk about?
Yeah. I actually have I just had a Disney Plus movie come out in between 7 and 8 called Shank and Dunk. But that's already out, but you should go check that out. Disney Plus. But there's a movie, I think it's going to Hulu. It's called Which Brings Me to You, directed by Peter Hutchings. It's with Lucy Hale and Nat Wolff. I play a high school, I play like Lucy's high school boyfriend. So yeah, there's that coming out. Again, I don't know if it's 100% coming to Hulu, but it's called Which Brings Me to You. Lucy Hale and Nat Wolff, like I said, super dope, great. I haven't seen like basically anything, so I don't really totally know, but my experience was great, and it was in the middle of Wolf Pack, so I was like on the Wolf Pack set, and then I went over to New York to shoot that, and then I came back. So was definitely I'm looking forward to that, seeing how that comes out. But yeah, and then cooking, waiting for season 2, maybe something new on the horizon. There's definitely a lot of stuff brewing. I wish I could say more, but yeah, I guess time reveals everything, and in this town it teaches you to be really patient. So I've gotten pretty good at that. So I'm just like, we'll see how things unfold. And see how that all looks in a couple years. But yeah, that's another very long-winded answer to that. But yeah, the Hulu, Which Brings Me to You, definitely go check that out. I think it should be coming in the summertime, like either like May or June or July. So
I mean, it sounds like you're keeping busy.
yeah, it's been a great year. It's been a great like year and a half basically. Ever since I dropped out of community college. Yeah, it's been great. But yeah, it's been a great year. Gonna try to keep that momentum, strike when iron's hot, right? But it's a lot of cool stuff out there. I'm also really into making my own stories. So that's kind of like what takes my most energy now, is like, so that's kind of game plan. Let me get you on a little bit of my own game, is trying to get, enough sway in town so I can start making my own stories. So
Okay.
that's the real stuff that's on that's really the blueprint. But that obviously that timetable is a bit longer. But the first dominoes fell. We'll see where things are gonna, land. But yeah,
Yeah, maybe we'll see you as a filmmaker in a few years.
that's the plan. That's the plan. So
Definitely. Well, congratulations on everything again, and thank you
thank
so much
you.
for your time.
Yes, thank you for listening and talking and chatting with me. Seriously, it was amazing.